Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So here I want to present about case study of accounting information system. So here is a list of our group members, which has 4 members. First one is Ahmadania bin Muhammad Azmi. Second one is Nur Hazimah binti Zakir, and then me, Siti Nur Fatihah binti Izhar, and the last one is Munirah Harahap binti Ali Uman. So here I want to present part 1, which is sales order procedure. So here is the table of entities and activity or sale order procedure. First, sales officer, which is Azlina. The activity is receiving the pre-printed purchase order copy from reseller. First, check the reseller account status by referring to the customer weekly report file, and then approve the reseller order and transfer the order detail into the sales order from prepare in duplicate carbon copies, and then fill the second sales order copy with the pre-printed purchase order, and then check the customer credit limit and remark the customer order as on hold and file the customer purchase order copy into pending customer order file, and then notice the customer to clear the pending payment before the order being processed. And second one, account unit, which is prepare the customer account summary report weekly for the sales officer reference. And the third one is sales executive, which is Selamat. First one is receiving the reseller sales order detail, and then check the inventory card for the current inventory balance, and recording the original copy of an annotated delivery note, and update the respective inventory card based on the number of unit delivery, and then signs the completed delivery note. Operation employee, the activities is pick up the order goods from the store. Second one, complete the duplicate copy of the delivery note and attach the sale order copy to the packaging, and provide the original copy of an annotated delivery note. And the last one is delivery agent, which is pick up the packet inventories from the operation employee, and then sign the delivery note prepared earlier. Next is contact diagram of sales order processing. This diagram show how sales order happen. First one, from customer, they submit the order and then go to sales officer, which is review customer order and then approve the order. So it can go to pick goods, which is check inventory balance, and then packing goods order, and then go to ship goods, which is pick up packed goods and then update the inventory card, and the last one goes to customer back, which is receive the goods.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hazna binti Zakir, and my number is 273304. I'm going to present data flow diagram of this order. So here is a data flow diagram of this order. The customer will complete the purchase order, then it will send to the sales officer to complete the sales order. The sales officer will review and approve the purchase order from customer. Next, the sales officer will send it to the store executive. Store executive will check the inventory card for the current inventory balance. And then the employee pick up the order good from store, and then attach the sales order copy to the packaging. And then the agent pick up the packed inventories from the operation employee and sign on the delivery note. And last, the employee update the respective inventory card and sign the completed the delivery note and forward to account officer. Then the goods will ship to the customer. So next is flow chart of this order. So here is a flow chart of this order. There are 3 departments actually, which is sales department, warehouse, and inventory control. the sales officer will receive the pre-printed purchase order copy and check the customer account status. And then the sales officer will approve the customer order and transfer the order details into the sales order form and forward the original sales order copy to a store executive and file the second sales order copy with the pre-printed purchase order. And then the seller check the customer credit limit and mark the customer order as on hold and files the customer purchase order copy into pending customer order file and notify the customer to clear the pending payment. And then store executive, who is Selamat will receive the original sales order and check the current inventory balance. And the operation employee will pick up the order goods and complete a duplicate copy of the delivery note and attach the sales order copy to the packaging. And delivery agent will pick up the packed inventories and sign on the delivery note. And then Selamat will receive the original copy of an annotated delivery note and update the respective inventory card and sign the complete delivery note. And then last, account clerk of CESP will receive the complete delivery note.
Next is cash receipt procedure. This table shows that how the entities and activities of cash receipt procedure. The first one is customer, which is a reseller. Reseller make a payment either via postal check or bank transfer. First one, payment by postal check by reached by office executive to summarize all the check and the total amount. And for the payment made via bank transfer or online banking that handled by office executive, we print the customer notification email and then identify the invoice. Second one, the cash receipt. Cash receipt is logged into CESP accounting system and record the cash collection into cash receipt, and then select the applicable sales invoice to knock off the payment received and all the details, and then update the respective customer master file and post the transaction onto applicable general ledger and master file. Account receivable fill in the pre-printed cash deposit slip in 3 copies for each check received and bring the check and deposit to the bank. And the last one, general ledger, which is report produced at the end of the month concerning reseller transaction, and then print out the sales order summary report, cash receipt report and customer aging report at the end of the month, and then forward the report to the general manager. And then this is contact diagram of cash receipt payment. The first one, reseller, which is customer, make a payment and then goes to bank, bring the deposit to the bank, and the last one to the general ledger executive to update the total cash receipt.
So next is data flow diagram of cash receipt procedure. So here is a data flow diagram of cash receipt procedure, and this is a flow chart of cash receipt procedure. So first thing is customer or reseller make payment either via postal check or bank transfer, and then the payment by postal check reached by the office executive to summarize all of the check and the total amount, and the payment made via bank transfer or online banking that handled by office executive will print the customer notification email and identify the invoice. And then the cash receipt, log in to CESP accounting system and record the cash collection into cash receipt, and then select the applicable sales invoice to knock off the payment received and all the details, and then update the respective customer master file and post the transaction onto the applicable general ledger master file. And then the account receivable fits in the pre-printed cash deposit slip in 3 copies. For each check, receive and bring the check and deposit to the bank. And then general ledger report produced at the end of the amount concerning a reseller transaction, which is the customer, and then print out the sales order summary report, cash receipt report, and customer aging report at the end of the month, and forward the report to the general manager. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akmar Daniel bin Muhammad Azmi, number matric 273249, Group C in Accounting Information System. Today I would like to present our group assignment in part 1. The question is 3 possible strengths of internal control procedures that are present in the SESB Eksediaan Berhad. First, operates effectively and efficiently. According to the purchase procedure, Selamat reviews the inventory card and lists all products for reordering purpose. In addition, he decides to purchase based on the minimum inventory required along with the minimum order quantity set by the vendor to determine the quantity ordered. In this way, the amount of excess in inventory can be avoided as well as waste that can cause losses to SESB. Number 2, protect inventory from damage or theft. When delivery arrives, the employee picks up the respective purchase order copies from the incoming purchase order file, then checks the inventory received if any damage has occurred. In addition, operations employees also confirms that the inventory description and the stated quantity on the vendor's delivery notes are consistent with the information in the purchase order. This is to prevent inventory from occurring damage or theft, which can cause huge losses. Number 3, prevent fraud. Selamat check the completed delivery file for all completed purchases order as well as update the quantity received into their respective inventory cards for each delivery order. He also forwards the original copy of the purchase order to the account unit who is responsible for managing all cash collection from resellers and processing cash payments to vendors. In this way, fraudulent activities can be avoided to improve the reputation of the organization. So, the next question is 4 possible weaknesses in the SESB procedures. First, the inventory amount does not meet the requirement. In several deliveries, operation workers simply confirm the quantity received without physically checking and counting the number of inventory arrivals. This leads to irregularities in the work, resulting in the inventory not reaching the standards that have been set. Number 2, error entering data. Lisa went into the SESB accounting system and recorded vendor invoices. She then records the details of the vendor invoice to the system. This causes the data entered to be invalid and can be convicted if any fraud is found. Number 3, cash misappropriation. Lisa printed the payment voucher for the invoice to be paid and handed it to Jason, the account manager, for the payment process. This can lead to inaccurate data records that can lead to cash irregularities in the company. This situation will give a bad reputation to SESB companies. And the last one, inaccurate record keeping. Lisa produced a report from the SESB accounting system consisting of a summary of purchases, a summary of account debt, and total cash payments. Then the report is given to the general manager. This incident may cause the recorded record to be less accurate. This is because only one person produces 3 reports at once, which can create the risk of fraud in the job.
So for the weakness, the inventory does not meet the requirement. The risk exposure is risk of receiving incorrect quantity. It is because operation workers did not check physically the number of inventory arrival. So the appropriate internal control is a quantity record and also independent verification procedure. So with a quantity record, we need to record the inventory, the in or out for the management, and for the independent verifications we can compare inventory with accounting records. We do the both internal control because we want to make sure the amount of inventory will synchronize with the number of inventory arrival. For the weakness, number 2 is error entering data. So the risk exposure is risk of accurately recording transaction in journal and ledger. It happens when Lisa has entered error data when records vendor invoice by key in the reseller ID. So the appropriate internal control is independent verification procedure. So we need to check to identify error and misrepresentation. For the next weakness is cash misappropriation. So the risk exposure is risk of cash misappropriation is happen when Lisa just forwards payment voucher to Jensen as a account manager to payment processing without get authorized first from the manager that in charge on that. So the appropriate internal control is segregation of duty is mean these control are designed to minimize incompatible functions, accurate actions, authorizations and processing. So the Lisa need to get authorized first before forward to Jensen for the payment processing. So for the last weakness is inaccurate record keeping. So the risk exposure is risk of incorrectly recording transaction in journal and ledger. It happen when Lisa is the only one in charge in prepare a report for the SESB ecosystem that contain purchase summary, account payable summary, also total cash disbursement. So for the appropriate internal control, management need to separations of duty, which mean they need to 3% difference in charge in prepare that 3 reports so that it will reduce the fraud.
Right, we continue our group assignment in part 2, which is recommend to the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, Cybersecurity in Malaysia and private entities 5 ways of fighting against cybercrime. I would like to present only 2 ways and my groupmate will continue the others. Alright. Firstly, further tighten existing laws. The government should bring together technology experts in manifesting the mind so that a legal framework can be implemented in preventing cybercrime. Members of the community should play a role by making a report to the relevant parties such as the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission if involved or see any dubious activity that threatens life so that the criminal can be convicted and punished accordingly. Apart from that, the government has also set up a cybercrime special committee to further enable enforcement actions to be taken and carried out in a more orderly manner, especially involving investigation and prosecutions. Next, use difficult and complicated passwords to prevent cybercrime. This way, all personal data or personal information will be more secure if using a unique password. Make sure the password used is at least 15 or 20 characters long. Users can use favorite colors, food, names or use symbols and numbers as passwords. To be more secure, make sure your passwords are updated or change from time to time to prevent your personal account from being hacked. Users should be vigilant and think rationally before clicking. This is because there are websites that provide space for hackers to easily steal all your personal data. And that's it. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. So here me again. So I want to present for part 2, which is how to prevent cybercrime. First one is upgrade the existing cyber security system as well as cultivate new competent cyber security professionals, as well as increase competitiveness in defending the country's cyber security. The responsible party can upgrade each application by putting some strict rule and detail of each user. This is because if the user want to create an account of application, the user need to provide detailed information, and it is true. If the information state is incorrect, the user cannot use the application even in a bad way, such as hackers and so on. This need to be taken seriously because national security is also threatened, as information can be easily received without borders and only depend on technological sophistication. And the last one is the most important thing is to manage your social media setting. Make sure to keep your details in private, like your number, phone address, and your full names, and so on, so that cyber criminal can get your personal information with just few data points if you share less in publicly. We can prevent the case such as bullying, sexual harassment, and threat occurs. In the event of data theft, report directly to Ministry of Communication and Multimedia Malaysia, which is MCMC, or the Royal Malaysia Police, PADRM. That's all. Thank you.
So, the fifth way of fighting against cybercrime, Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission should give awareness to the community in our country through campaigns and advertisement. It is very effective during COVID-19 because most of people are stay at home and always with their gadget to get latest information. So MCMC should take this opportunity to give knowledge to them about how to prevent cybercrime so that we can reduce the cybercrime in our country.